Okay, so what I want to talk about today, I'm going to go in here and take this cat, and let's make a duplicate. Duplicate. Okay, what I want to talk about is combine and separate. And right now in my hypergraph, I have the options display, shape, hidden underworld nodes open. Okay, so I just made a duplicate of this cat. If I go to mesh and I hit combine, there are some options available to us. We could just go ahead and hit apply and it combines the two objects. Okay, great. But what it does here, merges UV sets. Okay, no merge, merge by name, merge by UV link. Okay, I don't really mess with this much. I don't care about that. Merge the UV sets. If you have UV sets up in the UV editor, okay, you'll end up with multiple UV sets and here, so looks like I've got a couple different cat shape UV sets. I didn't actually realize they did this in 2020. Okay, so merge by name. I probably want to go in and just get them into one. Anyway, there's combined skinning. This always makes me sketchy. I probably would have combined these before I bound. Okay, I probably wouldn't use this feature. And then the other part here is the pivot position, because right here it's defaulted to center. You could have it on world origin. Okay, so when I hit apply, bloop, they bind together, or they've combined together, and they've kept the pivot there. But if I do center, it goes in between the objects. Doesn't matter. I usually end up moving it anyway, right? So yeah, just holding down D and quickly figuring out where I want to place it. Maybe I'll snap it to a vertice or something like that, or down on the grid. I'm holding down D and V to do this. And the last object selected. So if I did something like they were separate objects and I said last object, so maybe I want that pivot point right there, or how about this one right here? So select this one, then apply. Boom. Okay, doesn't matter. You can move the pivot point wherever you want. And I'll just hit edit, reset settings. Okay, great. So I'm going to go with the default settings and I'm going to hit apply and close. Now something you might notice here in the hypergraph, it's given me access to these nodes here. They've kind of become invisible. You can actually grab the original object here, one of them from here. As soon as you combine two objects together, it's a really good idea to delete the history. I've got a little history button. Edit, delete by type, history. Okay, really good idea. Because otherwise you start getting a buildup of this weird stuff. So if I took this and made more duplicates and shifty, and then I had all these, and then I went and I took all those and I said mesh, combine, and if I delete the history, Alt-Shift-D, boop. Okay, so it's one object. Got rid of all that crap. And then if I wanted to, there's also mesh separate. And when I separate, it's also a good idea to delete history. Okay, if I go in and Alt-Shift-D, boop, get rid of the history, and then I can hit Shift-P and unparent. Okay, now they're all separate objects again. Okay, you just have to be careful because when you do combine, separate, combine, separate, you start developing all of these extra nodes. Combine, and then mesh, separate, and yeah, so there's all this extra junk that starts to build up. And as soon as I delete the history, boom, we're back to this. Okay, so things to be cautious of. And that's the only way that you can go in and take two objects and start merging their vertices together. Like if I took this thing and I grab this face, and let's just delete that. Oops, crap. I meant to just grab a face. Delete. And if I go over here and I delete a face here. Now, if I tried to merge the vertice from this one to this one, grab the vertices and I go edit, merge, nothing happens. Okay, no matter how far I take the distance, they're not the same object, so they can't merge together. But if I go and I take them and I go mesh combine, and I delete the history, it's a good idea to delete the history right afterwards, then I can grab the vertice here, and I'll just hit edit mesh and hit merge. And I can start to merge them together, or I can use other tools like the Append Tool. And I'll append myself from here to here and hit G, there to there. just hitting G. Enter. Oops, crap, I missed. There. Enter. So now I can combine them together. Okay, and yeah, what else? What if I took these and I grab this and I delete it? Or if I try to, these things here are now physically joined, so if I go in mesh and I hit separate, they won't separate. It's one object, right? But if I went in here and I deleted these faces that joined them, and then I took the one object and I went mesh separate, now it'll separate. Delete the history, maybe hit fill hole, and patch up those cats and stick them back out on the street. Okay, and that's combine and separate. And I hope that helps.